Hi everyone, welcome to the part 3 of the 3D Paradigm series. My name is Rami Vasotras. I'm the founder of Halina Movement, teacher and creator at Halina Rising. So as you can see guys, I am doing a 2.0 version of the part 3 of the 3D Paradigm series. And this is because I want to bring more input as part of my current self-evolution right now. So I started doing the series way back in 2022, and it's now 2023 at the time of recording. So as you can see, marami tayong napagdaanan, marami din tayong na-learn ng mga new stuff, okay? But still, um, I keep on sharing about the 3D parody, even in my social media post. Um, I keep on talking about the 3D paradigm as much as possible. So this is something that I continuously bring into the table. Okay. If there's also conversations that I have with people, um, I always try to say na there's something more out there that we don't know of. And it's our sovereign, it's our right to know these things. And this might be also the cause of why things are happening to us, because most of the time we try to blame ourselves, and this is what the 3D paradigm is also trying to imply on us here, most of the masses, na it's our fault, we are weaklings, we don't have such power, and para lang tayong humihingi parate ng mga crumbs ng kung sino may yung nasa taas. And who are the people who's trying to build this paradigm itself? It's more on in a different place. Um, of course, we don't want to mention names here. I don't want to yet. I have mentioned names inside Halina Movement. um, Mapapansin nyo naman kung meron lang din tayong ano din na there are certain people na when we try to look at them, kahit hindi naman natin sila ano, nakikita talaga directly, we might see them on TV lang or wherever, mapapansin natin na parang iba yung life nila, iba yung pamumuhay nila. And they're good people naman, because they're doing charities, they're doing something, something kind to others. Pero mapapansin mo talaga, mafe-feel mo, iba yung lifestyle nila. And it's not just about money. Okay? It's not just about money. And speaking of money, we're going to talk about that here in this part 3. Okay? There's just something iba sa air. And there's now a clear line there na iba tayo sa kanila. Iba yung ano natin, iba yung pamumuhay natin dito lang. Which is so sad because we're not just here, okay? We're not just here for to work, for to just serve the order followers and to be just closeted in a system na gawa din nila. Okay? We are so much more. But since yun ang nakagis na natin, we have been programmed ourselves na this should be our, this should how we look at life. And this is also how we should look at ourselves na Kapag may konting ano lang, we blame ourselves. We feel so small. And there's certain a lot of layers here that I'm talking about. I know there's so much more, okay? And maybe this can be further explained in the next topics that we're going to tackle today, okay? So I am so excited to do this presentation again. It's been a while, and I'm always trying to give again. Going back to what I'm talking about na, parang nag-share tayo, but we don't just give it like literally because you know what, we have to read the room. We have to feel if the person that we're talking to is ready for this information, because we cannot just show all of these things in one sitting, and most especially to someone that is not open yet to this kind of conversations. And we're also protecting ourselves from any further na hindi natin alam, 'di ba? I keep on ano lang din na we cannot just keep on, laying our cards out there, because there's also certain danger for those who are truth seekers, and there's also dangers for those truth tellers as well. And you could say that I'm one of those, and Halina Movement is also one of those truth tellers out there, because this is a truth community as well. And I also want to emphasize na, like, are you a spiritual community? Halina Movement is a spiritual community, right? Should you just talk about um, doing spiritual, performing spiritual practices, being one with the source, being one with the creator? Why talk such things? Why should you really dwell on this? Yun na nga yung problema. Because there's now a certain ano na din, agenda in all sides. To be honest, guys, this is not just one agenda. The 3D paradigm is not just filled with just one agenda. They may have a one premise. That one premise is to keep the control. Keep us controlled. Keep us into believing that we should just be like servants, slaves. Ang difference lang nito in the modern times, we don't even see ourselves as slaves. Pero sa totoo lang, we are slaves. Still, slavery is still prevalent even during these times. And we don't even recognize that. For most of us, we don't recognize that. Indentured, have you ever known about indentured slavery? Minsan bakit tayo hindi makaalis-alis sa isang company? Kahit sobrang, okay, this is not just me. Alam ko naman a lot of people can relate to this. Um, Hindi tayo makaalis-alis sa isang company because of maybe loans. Sometimes insurance. May binabay may binabayaran tayo every month. Na hindi tayo makalis-alis. Even insurance itself. Again, we cannot just sugarcoat things. But this is what really happening. Na sugarcoat yung slavery into like, don't worry, you will have good benefits in the long run. Pag na-retire ka, ganito. Di ba sulit? But you can just imagine the programming there. I know it's so hard for most to even take all of this. And meron akong na ano din na sumakit yung ulo niya watching this series. Sasakit talaga yung ulo niya dito. Lalo na if you are parang continuous ka na nag-research, you are being led to one rabbit hole to another. One clue to another. Sasakit talaga ulo niyo. Kaya we need also to balance things. So in Halina, we are actually dealing on the aesthetic sense of concepts out there uh, about spirituality, but also putting ourselves into knowing what's really going behind the scenes. Kasi alam nyo, mas ma-deepen yung relationship nyo with your own spirituality. If alam nyo din ito. Yeah, we have to be balanced. Balance talaga. Balance is key. Because if you deem yourself as a free thinker, if you're just dwelling in your own, wala namang masama. Again, walang masama. But if we're not open to this, in the long run talaga, meron talagang, parang babalik ka ulit dito. Kaya as much as possible, we are offering these two things, the truth about the world, you know, and then of course, mastering yourselves. Parang may balance ba? Yung scale, hindi lang puro the truth seeking. Kasi the more you know, guys, the more you get into their own ano din eh. Kasi hindi mo alam kung saan ka pupunta. Parang nahulog ka sa kawalan. if you keep on researching about the 3D paradigm, truly going on, about the violence, about the disgusting. To be honest, it's so disgusting what they have been doing to our children. And even we think like it's normal, normalizing crime, normalizing violence, normalizing to sexualize things. Kung napapansin niyo, it's normal for us to talk I don't know what's the term there, like parang sexual innuendos. And even I myself parang, parang okay lang, parang normal lang pala mag-talk ng ganyan. Parang, alam niyo yun, ah, dapat hindi naman every time, parang whenever there's a conversations going on between a guy, yeah, but with anyone, okay, parang dapat may sexual tension or parang may pinapahiwatig tayo. Parang okay lang yun, meron tayong pinapahiwatig. And then, we don't know that, or maybe we just don't care na nakikita tayo ng mga bata. Papakinggan tayo ng mga bata. And they would think that it's normal. And we wonder bakit maraming breakups, maraming, ito na, isang problem, teenage pregnancy. Okay? It's because of this. What what kind of concepts they have been showing in the television? Puro, mag-asawa, then merong third party, or, parang yung mga unions, divine unions, there's always like a third party or parang may bumubuwag on that relationship. And we deem it as exciting. So thrilling. Nakakainis pero nakaka-excite. Pero kapag sa totoong buhay na, if we experience it ourselves, we don't even like it. Every second of it. But we keep patronizing this kind of shows, this kind of concepts, this kind of societal cues, I don't know, whatever. Pero kapag nangyari na sa sarili natin, sobrang galit natin. Sobrang ang unfair ng mundo. Just knowing about these things, guys, parang makaka-reality check ka talaga. So, if you're still following through the series, I really commend you guys following through this. Okay. Um, uh, I know it's quite hard to swallow these things, or even me as well. Okay. Maybe, who's this girl? Why I'm listening to this person? But again, I'm grateful and commending on your interest on this, because it's so, not everyone would even bother to try. to seek for this, or to understand, or to even listen. So kaya, it's okay to take your time, always get back to yourself. And at the end of this presentation naman, meron naman din tayong something that you can do, um, something that you can work on your own to balance yourself, to ground yourself. Kasi hindi to nakaka-ground eh. It's a 3D paradigm is actually putting us in a lower vibration. So if you keep on researching about these things, mapapa-low vibe ka talaga. That's why sasakit talaga ulo mo, you will have something, you will feel something in your body na hindi mo maintindihan. Because that's part of their programming. They, even researching more about this, it will give you trauma. Matatraumatize ka kung malalaman mo. So we have to balance these things to keep you in high vibe again. All right? So that's something that I really want to start with. And all of these things that I have, so far, nag-i-intro pa lang naman ako, to give you more insights on this and to give more weight on this series. Because no one's talking about this, to be honest. No one talaga. Not everyone. Madalang lang. Kung meron man, well, meron naman talaga, because I'm also getting information from these truth seekers as well. My job here is like, anong difference ko? Anong difference ng ginagawa natin ngayon? You may get also this kind of information from others as well. As much as possible, I try to give different perspective and to always put us back into what we are really getting. Okay? Parang hindi siya cliffhanger. Like, okay, I know these things, pero what will I do with this information? I even gotten this kind of feedback from a client or from a student. Parang nagpapareading yata siya. Parang anong gagawin ko? Ay, parang astrological birth chart reading. Parang anong gagawin ko sa information na to? And as much as possible, that is something that I want to also impart. Na anong gagawin mo dito sa information na to? What you can do for this? Okay? One thing talaga is share. Share. Your voice is highly needed during these times. We might think na, this has been going on for many years. What's the difference now? The difference, maybe within the next 10 years. Okay, I just have to shut my mouth on that. But you'll never know. That's why we are trying our best here to share this information. Because alam ko naman ang dami na nakakaalam nito, pero they're not doing anything. Again, never show up. Mamamatay lang naman tayo. Again, another programming again. That's another programming. Mamamatay lang naman tayong lahat. Ano naman mangyayari? Is it? Pag bumalik na naman tayo dito, okay, we're talking about reincarnation here. Well, we have some further series or further class on that inside. Same problem. The root cause of why we are suffering right now, this paradigm itself. Okay, so let's go now to uh, the discussion here. Let me just share this quote from Socrates. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. And this is what we are trying our best. Focusing our where we put our focus on. We're not here to really just try to, again, with the part one, I believe, na mag-aano lang tayo, mag-aalis na tayo sa gobyerno, or like we are trying to, um, mag-blame tayo. Like literally blame and then try to do something na, again, mapuput naman tayo in danger. Yung consequences ba, mas mabigat sa atin. But we can actually build the new. And this is also something that I have to emphasize, since we are now in the transit of Saturn in uh, Pisces. Okay, Saturn in Pisces will be going on for like 3 years. So, and just a short ano lang na Saturn in Pisces is we will have this kind of influence of emerging. Will be um the people will be more immersed on their spirituality. Mas maano nila yung sarili nila. Magfo-focus na sa sarili nila. And a good ano dito example is people now are um, more aware of their mental health. Like something that is an example na we can really relate into. Mas pinapahalagahan na natin yung mental health, which is way before parang hindi, magtrabaho ka. Huwag kang masyadong guni-guni mo lang yan. Okay. Ay, depression, anxiety. Nowadays, we are now being more careful on those kind of topics, and not just on the ideology, but also with, meron na talagang application na nagkakaroon na tayo ng mga support group, and it's been also in the social media na please take care of your mental health. Parang meron na talagang mental wellness, awareness on this things. And people um, are now going back to basics. Kung ano yung mas importante, yun yung i-focus niyo. Kailangan nyo sa buhay, hindi naman necessary na talagang yung ganito dapat yung parang instant agad ganito ang lifestyle niyo para masabi na we are ganito. Yeah, the status quo. So, and of course, with the Halina din, nagkaroon tayo ng ganito na movement. I think it's also part of that. Well, I'm just talking yung, ano na dito, parang personal stuff. But, and most of the people na din are being more aware of their spiritual awakening, nagkakaroon ng mass awakening, and nagkakaroon na sila ng further questions about these religions, yung mga paniniwala nila, Diba nagbabago na. Okay? And I think that's why you are here in this series as well, this class as well. Okay, because of that awakening. Yet, not just because we know all of these things, wala na tayong gagawin. Okay, what's next? The Saturn now, which is the actually it's the planet of karma, the planet of reconstruction, stabilization, putting foundation. Okay, we need to put some foundations when it comes to spirituality. We cannot just say na um, lahat i-embrace natin. This is all oneness, right? We have that kind of perception now. We are all connected. We are all oneness, but we need also to keep some structures as well on spirituality because we accept everything, diba? Like putting, for example, na lang law of attraction. Law of attraction is something that it's a natural law. But then again, we put that we actually what's the word again about it? Like we're trying to use na lang. Okay, we're trying to use the law of attraction for material gains. But is LOA for that? Yun ba yung main na ano? Purpose ng LOA is for you to get the stuff that you want, for you to get the money that you want. It was something to think about. So I'm just giving an example there that we have to have new structures going on. Because if we want to make a new change in the way we live right now, and if we want to break this 3D paradigm, break away from this 3D paradigm, then we have to have some structures again. Kasi ang mangyayari, magkakaroon na naman ng chaos. Just like in, the time of Moses. After they have fled into the new land, magkakaroon na naman sila ng, what's next? Anong gagawin natin dito? So they try to create their own structure, create their own religion, in which is parang naano lang, na late lang yung pagbibigay ni Moses with the Ten of Commandments because people can't wait. Instead, really working on themselves, why things are happening. They're trying to create na naman a deity, a deity or something God. Nagkakaroon ng idolatry. Yet again, we can blame people for that because they have been programmed for so long to have some order giver. They have been programmed to become, to live their life as an order follower. Kaya for me, that's why parang they cannot break the cycle. But because that's what they are used to. Yun yung nakasanayan nila. Okay? Are we getting on this, guys? Just to give you more layers on this, para mas maintindihan natin kung paano talaga tayo mag-create ng change. Alright? So, let's go now to scientism. Okay. Scientism now. Okay. There's a lot of layers on the scientism because in this one, I've not just talked about the scientism na it's more on logic. But what is scientism again? Um, Scientism is actually another a societal paradigm. Okay? The 3D paradigm, meron pa siyang layers, sub-paradigms. And scientism is one of them. This for modern times ha, ito yung ano niya, it's more on actually during these times, parang left brain scientism tayo, which is what I'm going to talk about later on. Okay? Um, it's still another societal paradigm in which it has much more logical culture. Logic. Left brain. That everything should be based by facts. Okay? Creating a society in which every aspect of life, not just technology, medicine, so on, is assessed by science. Claiming science is the only source of knowledge. And also, I like this part. The only objective means in which we can know anything. Just imagine na lang na um, most of the time naman, parang we don't trust our own inner wisdom. Don't trust ourselves when it comes to relaying information because we believe most of the time na kailangan may reference, may expert advice, merong scientific experimentation, something that is done by experts, done in a research lab, just to make our statements true. Even working on a thesis, right? Dapat merong ano eh, may reference to make it more um right. Diba? Parang para sa atin, it's a God PR kapag ganun ang research mo. Kasi kung puro na lang your own opinion or parang ganyan, parang, I don't believe you. You don't have, where's your source? Diba? Most of the time we talk about that. So scientism now is a setup by institutional religions to be skeptical belief systems that contradict pre-existing beliefs. And what is this pre-existing beliefs? Because of course, um, in our ancient history naman, there's a lot of events that have occurred. We might believe it or not. Somehow, when we try to look for further research about it, kapag meron ng scientific reference, parang sinasabi na um, it happened because of certain like a scientific pa rin na ano, a scientific cause. Pero the truth is pala they're trying to envelope that kind of ano lang. They're using again their expertise in the science field para ma-sugarcoat or para mabura yung parts na kung ano yung talaga yung totoo na nangyari. So you could say here parang they're hiding something. They're hiding that using like scientific explanations. Nangyari yan because of meron tayong scientific ano dito experimentation to back that kung bakit yan nangyari. Pero sa totoo lang, nangyari yun because of they want to break actually something. To break an agenda. So you could say here, just imagine truth tellers in the 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s. Like aware ka talaga kung ano nangyayari sa mundo during those times. And if you do your part, somehow they would try to create parang mag-sugarcoat kung ano nangyayari sa'yo. Or for example na lang, another is like our megalithic structures, the pyramids, the Sphinx, and somehow we trust kung ano yung sinasabi doon sa science books. Bakit yung ginawa? Sinong gumawa? We trust them because it's backed by science again. But there's more deeper truths behind those. Or somehow parang kino-quote na lang ng scientism kung ano yung totoo. Kino-quote ng lie para hindi ma-reveal ang truth. Another pa, okay, to give you more specific. So, for example, so whenever you watch, parang if there's a Halloween TV show, most of the time they invite paranormal investigators, diba? And they would talk about their expertise, try to explain why things are happening, why there are mga appearances or occurrences in a particular area or whatever that the topic is really about. They're sharing their expertise. They're even having tools. Meron silang tools na ginagamit or maybe using their own natural skills. Okay, the other senses apart from their five senses, they're also using other senses. Maybe they are their clairvoyance nila or clairaudience, meron silang naririnig na or parang mas naiintindihan nila, or maybe psychometry, okay, maybe touching things, and then they kind of have those visions on who are the last person touching that kind of who touched that thing, or visions kung ano nangyari to the owner or whatever. So that's one part of the program usually. But then there's also one part of the program that they invite a uh, a science expert, okay, someone in the science field, maybe a psychologist, yeah, psychologist, or yeah, anyone in the science field, and they would also try to explain their own expertise in their respective area. And then so most of the time naman, to be honest, we try to disregard kung anong sinasabi ng paranormal investigator, and we trust more the ones who are in the science field. Di ba? Contradicting. Even the talking about ghosts, they would just say na hindi naman yan ghost. It can be something that humidity in the air. Okay, again, trying to contradict pre-existing beliefs. But we know that there's more out there, right? Kahit pa siguro wala yung scientism na to, we trust in ourselves that there's something more out there. Hindi lang tayo ang intelligent life here on earth. There's more out there. That's what also gives us in a 3D consciousness, because ang alam lang natin no, what we can see, what we can hear, using all of our five senses. Pero kapag meron ng another, like, parang may nafe-feel ako na hindi ko maintindihan, sometimes we disregard that. I try to ignore that. There's now another dimension layering in our own dimension. Another dimension layering in the 3D. But this also what keeps us here, stuck on this belief, on this religion. Okay? Because it feels like, again, the material world or the physical plane is all there is. They want us to think that the spiritual domain is separated from the physical domain. This is also one thing na we have to emphasize here, because we can also think na wala talagang spiritual domain. Okay? Wala man yan. There's no such thing as spirits. There's one creator. There is God. But there's no such thing as spirits. Diba ang daming layers happening in within this paradigm itself, this societal paradigm, which is the scientism. Diba ang daming layers. You can also might think na walang spirits talaga, parang ano lang tayo, science lang tayo. Let's just focus on what science can give us. Science is the only truth that we can really rely on, because it has experimentation, it has structure, it can really explain things. And there's also that part na, yeah, siguro meron talagang a different dimension that we might not know of yet, hindi lang natin na-explore, but we are separated to them. Diba? There's also this thinking, right? Kahit pa, parang open ka naman outside of the scientific realm. We might think, meron talaga pa out there. Hindi lang pa natin na-explore. Hindi pa lang siya natatap ng science. Siguro wala pa tayong greater technology to test on those things. Pero it's out there. Alam natin yun. Pero, we also have that kind of thinking na it's separate. It doesn't really involve us. It's separate to us. It cannot really tap us. Diba? Pero again, this is another thing that we have to understand na we are living in a multiverse. Hindi natin alam, we can be affected by it. Di lang tayo conscious. Okay? Again, I'm talking a lot of layers again here, metaphors. Again, you may watch the series again all over again in your well-conditioned time. Na, okay, I'm ready for this information again. I'm ready to read more between the lines because there's more. I'm trying my best to spoon feed, but then again, there's also a lot of things that you can use your own discernment. Okay, there's a lot of things that you may want to research more. Okay, I am here to plant seeds to help you out what to look for. Okay, um, let's go now to the left brain scientism. So this is not what I'm talking about the logic. Okay, the logical culture. These are the current scientism that we are in. To be honest, okay, mas prevalent to sa atin ngayon. But because of, again, we are now entering sa the age of Aquarius, so paunti-unti nawawala na to. Kasi age of Pisces to eh. Dominance nito age of Pisces. So left brain scientism, randomness. Everything happens by accident for no reason. There's no spiritual realm. It's not, it's just a coincidence. Random lang ang mga pangyayari. Like, kung merong magsumulpot dyan ng mga, random lang yan. And then they would try to back it up with a past statistic or a past experiment, a past scientific evidence, whatever. Because yun naman ang science eh, as we know of. We try to rely on, the past records. Ganito pala yan, ganito pala ang nangyari. Pero it's also blocking us into thinking about the present and also about the future, to be honest. Okay? Kasi mas past, siya eh, past focusing on, past focus siya. So, we try to look at it na, nangyari na to sa past, ganito yung ginawa, ganyan, ganyan. Kapag nangyari ulit siya at the present time, gagawin mo ulit yung ginawa mo at the past. And we might think, bakit? Bakit? What happened right now may not be the same what happened a few years ago. Kahit pa similar pa sila. Paano mo mababreak yung cycle? Kung if you keep on using the same method in the past all over again. We might not even ask, bakit siya sumulpot in the first place? So you see now, guys, that what's really going on? It's very on the mind. It's tricking us, putting us in a trick question. And this left brain scientism na perceiving na walang spiritual realm, so wala na tayong kakapitan. Ang kakapitan lang talaga natin kung ano lang alam natin dito. Kahit pa meron ang nakikita tayo na hindi natin maintindihan or nafe-feel na tayo na hindi natin naiintindihan, you will still disregard it. Hindi naman ito totoo siguro. Pero hindi natin alam bakit kaya paulit-ulit. Why things are keep on happening. Okay? Right brain scientism. Okay. Right brain scientism, blind belief, a collective of willing followers to submit to a specific religious thought. The spiritual realm is out there. Okay. So there's also one thing in the left brain scientism. That the left brain scientism is more on the order givers. They're so, you know, parang rational. They're so material focus. Kung ano yung goal nila, ito talaga yung i-follow nila. And they will do anything, kahit pa whatever it takes just to get to that goal. And actually, they would use people in this, under this right brain scientism um, societal paradigm who believe them blindly. A blind belief, parang they would not even ask, bakit nila pinafollow yun? And parang ano dito is like common words. It's like, um, I will follow, fina-follow ko to siya na person because nandito rin yung pamilya ko. Fina-follow din siya ng pamilya ko, ng mga kaibigan ko. Kaya dito ako, fina-follow ko din tong tao na to. Parang ganyan. Or, ako lang, ako lang naman ng ano eh, parang I'll join na lang. I'll join them. But they would not even try to ask themselves, or maybe they are asking themselves, but they cannot even get out a good answer to that. It's because of this. Na merong they must be a follower. It's okay for them to be a follower. A collective of willing followers to submit to a specific religious thought. So the left brain scientism actually uses a lot of those who are in this right brain because they need followers, right? They need some people to do their own work. And scientism now, knowing all about the scientism, we might even perceive scientists or the people who are in this field, okay, as actually gods. Okay, as quote unquote gods. Kasi sila yung mas nakakaalam. So doon tayo makinig sa kanila. Mas expert sila eh. So doon tayo we need to keep our faith to them. So you can see now there's um a great na dito again forming the order giver and the order follower uh pattern, right? So ang 3D paradigm, guys, is made up of a lot of strings. It's like parang a stage, parang play. And may may puppets, and meron din nagpa-puppet sa kanila, puppeteers, to make this paradigm working for so long. And to be honest, these are the things that we are trying to break right now. This is also the reason why we are having this a lot of questions in our mind. Bakit ko kaya to ginagawa? Nagkakaroon tayo ng midlife crisis, right? Okay, uso yan eh. Parang nagigising tayo one day na, parang ayoko nang gawin to. Parang ayoko nang gawin tong work na to. Hindi na masaya. And there was also a parang ano na din na magko-question, ang ganda-ganda ng work mo, ang ganda-ganda ng buhay mo, bakit mo yan ititigil? Nagrereklamo ka na naman eh, 'di ba? And we would try to devalue our thoughts, our initial thoughts na nagrereklamo lang pala ako. Reklamo lang pala yun, nag-iinarte lang ako. But still, at the back of your head, in you know, in your heart, there's something missing. There's something that's not fitting, fitting right. So there's also this. It's also parang right brain din ito eh. Right brain scientism. We believe on where the majority is. We believe on what the 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 society is going for. Kung saan yung society, kung saan yung majority, doon na lang tayo kasi doon ang marami eh. Mas ano tayo doon, mas komportable tayo doon. You could also say safe zone, right? Kasi maraming magbaback sa'yo kung yun ang pipiliin mo. Kasi kung doon ka lang sa wala talagang road less traveled, kulang isa or konti lang kayo, di ba parang yung ang tingin pa nga sa kanila parang losers, parang kawala ng society, black sheep, di ba? So, as you can see, a lot of layers going on just in the scientism pa lang, guys. Right? And there's also ano dito with the divine masculine and the the divine feminine. We talk about the right brain is the feminine aspect, the left brain, the masculine aspect. Because in the patriarchy, where we always in the I do believe we're still on the patriarchy society. We still ano kung our ano is led by men. Our decisions are still more on leaning on the decisions of the men, the masculine. Pero meron ng feminism, right? we are now including women into the decision making in our leaders, basically in our government, diba? But that's also a different topic. It's going to be a long story kung i-include pa natin yan. But what I'm just trying to point out here, um, yung suppression of the divine masculine. If we suppress the divine masculine, the feminine will be weak. And this can be figuratively, this can also be literal. Kasi doon sa um, uh, history of where colonizing, there are in when the Americans trying to colonize a different culture, they're trying to suppress the men first. Bakit? Kailangan nila munang malittle. I know I'm using a word here, parang ano, parang kailangan mo na nilang ma, ma-work around ang men kasi walang magliligtas or parang walang magpro-protect sa women and the children, 'di ba? Because if they have conquered the men in the land that trying to colonize, um, well, mas magagawa nila yung mga gusto nila sa mga babae, and also sa mga bata na rin, 'di ba? Kasi wala nang magpo-protect. Even the movie, I forgot the name of the movie, but it's so popular. Maybe it's directed by Mel Gibson, if I'm not mistaken. Una nilang talagang parang kinapture or parang uh, they have this kind of word eh, parang uh, neutralize. Ay, grabe talaga programming. Neutralize is yung men talaga. Kasi wala nang protectors yung kababaihan. Yeah, they can do everything to women and even the children as well. Let me know kung ano yung movie na yun. I really forgot the name, but it's so popular. And for uh, ano siya, parang there's a one incident na yung movie parang translate into into Bisaya. Oo, in Bisaya. And then parang nag-viral siya pero nagkaroon ng lawsuit yata, parang kinasuhan yung nag-dub nun kasi nga bawal siya. So that movie, okay, if you can remember that. So una talaga yung men. Um, i-atake or i-neutralize. Kasi walang foundation. Doesn't really mean that women cannot think for themselves, okay? It's just that the men has force. And there's also a clear line na din dito, guys, na um, I know there's a lot going on about our genders here, but we're talking about energy here. Natural energy. We're not just talking about genders lang. Kasi we might think na, hindi natin sinasali yung ibang genders, or ibang ano. It's not really about that. Because again, it can also be part of the agenda as well. Right? Bakit ang daming naglalabas sa genders? And they also try to put it out na lahat tayo equal. Pero in esoteric sense, even in the divine sense, natural law sense, the feminine and masculine is actually different. They have different aspects on them. Okay? It's not just about the gender. Kasi kung may suppression na sa isa, magkakaroon talaga ng imbalance. And this can also be in our mind, to be honest. Okay? I know I hope you are keeping up with me, but this is just something that we also have to put into discussion and to understanding. Kasi hindi tayo magiging free thinker kung puro lang tayo left brain dominant or right brain dominant. Kasi again, kung magfo-focus lang tayo into one ano lang, meron talaga magkikreate tayo ng imbalance dito sa isang part or whatever that is. 'Di ba? Is this balance? Right brain scientism? Is this balance? Left brain scientism? No. They can never be balanced. The feminine and the masculine should be in union, should be in balance. That's true alchemy. Kung hindi sila in union, ito na talagang mangyayari. That's how intelligently are the ones who are creating this 3D paradigm. They're trying to separate things. It's about separation. And even the this esoteric concepts, they are trying to separate it para tayo mas ma-confuse. 'Di ba? Nako-confuse din tayo. I might be right now, you might be some of you here I might be confused on what I'm really talking about. Nako-confuse talaga tayo if we not try to really put the puzzle pieces together. So what we're doing here is trying to put the puzzle pieces together. Bakit nagkakaroon ng ganitong mga problema? Because we cannot solve this if we don't know the root cause. And we cannot also provide root solutions if we don't know the root cause or the root problems, right? Because same na naman ito yung sa discuss natin the part 2 na meron ng magandang solution but it's still surface level. It's not really solving the real problems, 'di ba? And there's also a problem with the feminism. Again, it will also be discussed inside Halina. I know maybe a shocker for anyone here. Ano problema sa feminism? 'Di ba parang binibigyan na nga ng empowerment ang women? We might go back again if we suppress the men. If we weaken our men. The women can be easily exploited. Even then, kahit pa we might think na nasa ruro tayo, parang nilagay yung mga kababaihan in a pedestal that we can be easily exploited. Because again, is imbalance going on. Because there's no divine unions. It's just a matter of like a nick of time na lang maintindihan natin na wala nang happy family. Parati na lang may broken family. It would be a natural na lang para sa atin na isa lang yung mama, yung parent ba? Isang parent lang or you know, 'di ba sanga-sanga siya? Because if there's no divine unions, ano mangyayari sa next generation? Meron nga tayong next generation, but they are being birthed into a initial environment na hindi kumpleto. Okay? There's something missing. Do you know what I'm getting here, guys? So there's a lot of layers here, basically. And again, natural laws is the real science. Divine laws. And we are bound by these laws, whether we like it or not. It's the cosmic law, universal law. But because they are such people na they want to rule the world, they want to control people, they want to control people in their own benefit. And we might even ask, like, um, why we have this kind of I don't know, thoughts na kailangan mag-revenge tayo sa isang tao. Kailangan nating, I need to control you. I need to own you. Yeah, parang may possession, may possessiveness. Even that kind of attitude na bigla at bigla na lang lumalabas. To be honest, it's not natural. It's not natural for us humans to think like that, to be honest. Because maybe there's something going on in the past that made us humans think like that. Kaya minsan nasasabi natin, normal lang na may ganyan. Normal lang na merong mga taong psychopath that wants to hurt other people, that wants to govern other people's lives. For what? For what gain? And this is also something that's going on in the conversations that I have um, with the uh, we're also practicing magic, um, light magic. Na anong anong purpose ng pag-govern ko sa ibang tao? Anong purpose nun? 'Di ba? Okay lang na you live your own life. I'm also going to live mine, in in my um uh my highest purpose. Also, you live your life in your highest purpose, your highest good. I also want you to live your life in that way because also that's what I want for myself as well. But there are just such people na gusto nila mag-inflict ng hurt, ng pain sa ibang tao. And they like that. And there's also something na we might want to really think about kung normal ba talaga sa ating humans to think like that. Is there really a very, very, very root cause kung saan ba yan yung galing? Okay? And again, spirituality and science are just basically one concept, broken into two. Because that's what the scientism is all about. Parang merong separation. They want us to believe that science is the only thing na we need to believe in. And spirituality is something na, it's still not. Still out there, pero you still need to rely on science. Diba? There's a parang dinidismiss na natin kaagad when we talk about spirituality. Because in the olden times, priesthood is the TR, parang God TR. Mas pinapaniwalaan natin yung mga nasa simbahan. During the Spanish War, the Spanish era ng colonization dito sa Pilipinas, we think of those who are in the church na they are the most intelligent people because they are much more closer to God. So, mas hinihingan natin sila ng advice, mas pinapaniwalaan natin sila. In that way, we can be also exploited. in their own benefit. And just imagine the ano na lang, the implications. You might have watch naman the um, Maria at Ibarra, tama ba? Maria Clara at Ibarra para. Maria Clara at Ibarra, yeah, with Father Damaso. So yeah, those are the things lang na we need to think about. Because again, this is what they want us to believe, that it's just different or separated. Okay? Which is just more about the separation of the feminine, the suppression of the divine masculine, and the suppression of the divine masculine and exploitation. I already forgot. Exploiting the sacred feminine. So you can see here that there are really just esoteric terms within these concepts. That's why it's so hard for us to even believe with our inner knowing. Our inner wisdom is actually feminine. It's a feminine aspect of us. When we tune into our intuition, diba, with our intuition, with our inner knowing, parang nafe-feel natin na kahit pa hindi natin napag-aralan, pero na ano na natin na parang ito yun eh. Diba? Meron na tayong cognizant on uh, a cognitive information about it. Kahit hindi pa natin siya napag-aralan, hindi tayo expert on that, hindi natin siya field, hindi natin siya napag-aralan sa school. Pero meron tayong a sense of knowing on those things. It's feminine. It's a feminine aspect. But because of the scientism, na much more on the left-brain scientism, hindi natin siya pinapaniwalaan. We don't voice it out because, again, we might be judged by the society or parang, baka mali lang to. Diba? And that's what's really going on. The real sense is just one concept. Science is the natural law. It's the real science. Okay? Now, so they want us to be disconnected again because of the mind control. They want us to control in that way, that the natural laws is the only governing dynamics. They don't want us to believe that there's a natural law to begin with. They don't want us to believe in their man-made laws. But the real thing is the natural laws is the only governing dynamics of consciousness and not the man-made laws. Okay, now let's go over to money spell. Okay. Okay, again, this is a very big topic. But we have a class on this one. We have a master class on this one. Money has no resume masterclass inside Halina Movement. So please tune in for this one inside when we open. So money, this is the biggest spell that we are in. Okay. To be honest, like we are in this ancient money spell, a Babylonian, way back in the Babylonian times, like money. Money from the word mono. Actually, it's a monopoly, like a one currency, a one tool to represent our wealth. Because if wala ka nito, then they would know kung saan ka nagbe-belong. Diba? Now, the elites can be able to know, wala kang ganito. You don't have this kind of um, amount of money, then we know where to put you. We know how to use you. I know it can be a very um, manipulative. It can be also um, uh, kind of far beyond our imagination of thinking. But this actually speaks a lot of our way of life here. Like our way of life is really governed by accumulating money, right? And I've talked about the indentured slavery. That's why we are also parang hindi tayo makawala sa isang uh, a particular place because of money. Kasi may parang binabayaran or meron tayong ganito and we want this kind of money. So it's a spell. Okay, I've come from a regular job. I work in a government agency, and it might not be because I've known about the 3D paradigm. That's why I don't work anymore in there, or I don't work any office job anymore. It's not because of that, because ang dami pa nangyari sa life ko bago ako napunta dito. Right? But um, knowing this somehow really, really widened my perspective on why, why it happened to me. Okay? Meron pa ng bigger reason kung bakit ako umalis. Even though okay naman yung the income, you could really say, wala talagang problema. Sa totoo lang. Nagkakaproblema lang tayo kasi ang dami nating ginagastos kaya ay parang kulang na naman. Because again, programming again, we want a lot. We want a lot, but we don't know na hindi pala natin gusto yun in the first place. Okay? It's not, there's a lot going on. And again, this is again the biggest mind control scheme. It can really put you in this mind control scheme talaga. Money. Come from the root word one eye, mono, one eye. I'll also talk about the one eye inside this masterclass, inside Halina Movement. Okay, and this also uh, make up the material cosmology. Siguro 95%. 95% of the material cosmology at the moment in the 3D is money talaga. Ano na lang yung mga yung mga other luxuries. Money talaga. It's money. Like they are putting money in the same breath of God. Why? Totoo naman. We might not admit it or not. Yung money parang na siyang God. Kasi kung wala ka niyan, parang hindi ka mabubuhay. Hindi ka, parang hindi ka deserving na mabuhay dito sa mundo kung wala ka niyan. Kaya kailangan mo kumapit sa pera. Am I wrong or not? Again, di ba, na ano pa siya parang another layer na naman dito na money is energy. You need to speak about money as like it's a it's the greatest wealth. Diba? Parang law of attraction again. Law of attraction is just the beginning. After that, magic comes in. I've also talked about that inside the, the divine creed, New Earth manifestation training. You'll be able to avail that very, very soon as we open or at the time of recording, at the time of recording. So it's more. This is more of money is money is a tool. And yes, you may perceive money as energy, okay? But in the real sense, to be honest, money is just paper. Money is paper, or money is yung parang coin lang, where it's just an element. There's a lot of connotations with money. Kaya nga din green yung money. Uh, in the US, parang green yung ano nila, di ba? Yung the color, okay, the color of money, parang green. Because it represents Gaia. It represents the earth element, right? It represents growth. It represents life, right? When there's earth, there is basically life talaga. There's the growth of the plants, the trees, the nourishment of the animals, even us, humans. We are nourished by nature. So there's a lot of esoteric sense then they have put into money. So it's a very detailed. Money is what when they made money, it's very very detailed. They have been used in the scheme of mind controlling us to be just in. There's so much more on this, guys. Your financial status is you're so much more than your financial status. Ang daming ang daming nade-depress dahil sa pera. Ang daming nagkaka-anxiety dahil sa pera. Ang daming nalulong sa anong mga not good medications dahil sa pera. We might even feel like we're not worthy of having money. We're not worthy of it. It's all about programming. Okay? So if you want to know more about this ancient money spell, can you watch the Money Has No Resume masterclass inside Halina Movement? Okay? So you will know more about money itself, right? Now, let's go to the number three, the religions. Okay? Okay. So scientism itself it is a religion. It is a religion because it's a system of belief. And in Latin verb, religion is religare, and it means to tie back, to hold back, to thwart from forward progress, to bind. So if this is the meaning of religion. It just makes sense that if we are part of any religion at all, we are actually bound by that belief. We are bound to that. Like nakakontrata na tayo dyan. We are being held back to even the outside, kung ano pa yung mga ano natin, parang dito lang tayo. Okay? To bind us into that. Parang may contract. Nakakontrata ka dyan na belief. And in any creed, it is the same concept. Right? But we're not talking about na religion is bad. But there can be a false religion. False religion is a system of control based in unchallenged dogmatic belief. Unchallenged, from the word unchallenged. So it means like you cannot try to even question them, whatever their orders are, whatever the structures, the rules are, you cannot challenge them. So there's control, diba? Because once you control, try to question the rules, question the ano, then you know the consequences based on what they are trying to give you na consequences. Kapag kung ginawa mo, pag nag-question ka, try ka na mag, ano, mag, yeah, mag go against the rules, you will have the consequences. Ito yung magiging consequences. But that's not religion is. True religion is to unbind us from any dogmatic belief. Because that's the start of being in this oneness. To move forward in oneness to an optimal timeline reality. To reunite us to a forward progress. And true religion is also to set us free from the old matrix of the societal paradigm. And that's true religion is, to unbind us. You have the freedom. That's the real freedom now here. If we have this true religion, then we have sovereignty. We have now the freedom to self-govern ourselves. Okay? No one can be an authority of us. We're now able to really practice our free will. Because we are free thinkers. And to be honest, you can actually utilize your free will if you're a free thinker. Utilizing your neocortex. Kasi you're able to discern. You're able to judge wisely. Kaya hindi pwede na puro lang tayo isang dominant brain lang or parang isa lang yung ginagamit natin. Kasi meron talagang imbalance na mangyayari sa isa. Whether left brain ba yan or right brain, magkaka-imbalance yan. It will really create holes, no matter what they say. Okay? So what are these fake religions? Okay. We've got politics. Okay. Controlled media. Monetary system. Okay, yes, the money religion that we have talked about earlier. And then all religions we know on earth. Okay, again, before we get into any ano dito, uprising. um, let me just talk about that. The religions that we have, all of them, if they still have the seed of truth in each of them, which is true. Because if you watch the Wisdom of Hermes, the first episode of the Wisdom of Hermes series inside Alina, I've talked about there that the reason why we have a lot of different different religions, it's because nagkaroon tayo ng separation. Nagka-separate tayo. Gumawa tayo ng different cultures. Which is for me, ha, I don't want to really say it na it's bad na nangyari yun. Parang it's just meant to be. It's just it. It's meant to be talaga na magkaroon tayo ng separation in a while. Because that way, we are able to have this kind of a hero journey, I don't know, a journey to discover again our connectedness to the source. Because again, the universe is just experiencing itself. Like it wants to experience new things. It wants to experience new journey. And let's see how the hero or the main character would go back or would be able to lead his or her way back to the source. And that's why we have different religions. And the different religions now, yes, they have this kind of different representations of the source of the creator, right? It can also be have different names or different stories, but similar themes. Halos magkakapareho-pareho lang sila. If you really study them, put them into comparison, parang pare-pareho lang eh. Magkakaiba-iba lang yung pangalan, yung terms, pero halos pare-pareho. Parang merong ang journey pa rin is parang ang dami niya lang challenges na nangyari or na napagdaanan, pero bumalik pa rin sa source. At the end of the day, at the end of that deity's life, bumalik pa rin sa source. But there's also a sense here that the religions, that there can be more exoteric, more on outside. There's also a sense, a possibility here that nawala yung mga parang nawala yung the esoteric aspects. Sinadya na winala kasi they don't want us to know the truth. They don't want us to even think about what's outside there. Just imagine us that we are inside of a box and then we are perceived to believe na walang world outside. This is the only world that we know of. Pero we didn't know na outside of that box, outside of that world, parang meron pa palang iba't ibang different worlds out there. So they try to suppress any information kung anong nasa labas. Right? So politics, yeah, we have learned a lot about authority there. Control media. Control media, you will learn a lot about this in the Project 3 series. Yun isa sa mga unique na series natin inside Halina. Kasi yun yung mag-talk about kung what's really happening in the world behind the scenes. And even the esoteric terms then as well. And then the money, we have the current, the master class, but we still have going to have another classes pa about money as well. Okay? And irony, the irony here is that we might think, no, we already know things. Like, for example, na lang, very good example is that they might try to hide the truth, pero they actually put the truth in plain sight. That's also part of the programming. And what I'm talking about here is that ang gusto nila, isuppress yung information. Isuppress yung kung ano talaga nangyayari. They don't want us to believe about our power, about our sovereignty, about our ability to really think about ourselves and to become really free thinkers, to become really free in really living our life beyond this 3D paradigm. They don't want us to know about that. Pero they put those irony or they put those information out in the most unexpected places or even in those places na we might deem hindi siya totoo. For example, movies, fiction movies, fantasy movies, cartoons. They might put a lot of, hidden information there. Hindi na siya hidden kasi nag-leak na. About what they are really trying to do, they put those information in the cartoons because we might perceive, cartoons lang yan. Hindi naman yan totoo. Fantasy movie lang, hindi naman yan totoo hindi naman yan mangyayari in real life. Pero you might even notice na maybe in a few years or so, or technology, like meron kayong nakikitang technology within a movie na, ay, parang hindi pa yung nag-exist, parang bago yan na. Pero in a few years, parang lumabas na siya. It's because they are prepping us for that. They're prepping or trying to program our brain na this is possible. This is something that you might expect. And also fear, guys. Again, fear. They want us to program to be in that fearful mode, trying to create movies about, the end of the world, creating fear mongering. And even the irony here, there's a lot of layers going on around here, guys. Yung kanina pa lang na sinasabi natin about the scientism, even feminism. Okay, feminism, ano ba yan? They might try to put feminism, they're putting women in pedestal, but in true light, they are trying to exploit women. And also trying to weaken our men. Kasi kung, di ba may imbalance? If there's no union of the feminine and masculine, if we are not honoring our natural gifts, if we're not honoring our natural essence, if the divine masculine is not honoring the divine feminine's essence and vice versa, how can we have, plenty of divine unions? Magbibicker lang tayo, mag-argument lang tayo na mas okay kami, mas yung mga kalalakihan, kami yung mas kami yung dapat yung sundin. Di ba? There's a lot of feeding of each ego. Right? Nag-feed tayo ng egos natin. And this is what the mess that they're trying to make. Keeping us in separation. And this now that we're talking about here, these are details. These are details, guys, to put the pieces together. Because it's so easy to say, may separation, pero wala namang binibigay na details. So we're not trying our best to put these details out there to give you some clues. All right? It's so sad, actually. It's really sad for anyone who has been in this path for so long. Nakakapagod siya. To be honest, lalo na kapag walang balance, parang puro na lang yung ginugol natin sa oras natin, and we try to get out, 'di ba? Parang hindi na tayo nag-resonate sa system na inimpart ng 3D paradigm. I've not even talked about the school system yet. hindi pa siya kasali dito sa discussion natin. But those things will be discussed further inside the Project 3 series inside Arena. Um, since hindi na tayo nagra-resonate, so somehow parang we feel like we are in a dark place. We don't know what to do. Ano ba? And it's understandable. Sometimes we don't know what to do. We don't know how we can really break onto this. Kahit pa may knowledge na tayo, pero paano? Right? So, how to find the exit? Again, do we need to fight the system? I mean, for me, guys, I don't want also say na yung mga nagpa-fight ng system or trying to their best to I'm not devaluing their efforts kasi grabe din yun. A lot of people have died, have lost their lives just to put this information and put these puzzle pieces together. I'm just a messenger here. I'm just one of those messengers. A lot of people have died trying to fight the system because yun ang paniniwala nila. Ito na yung way. And I don't want to disregard that, to be honest, because so, I can really feel for them. For others as well, who have gone also into this rabbit holes. But we also need to learn from their experience. Okay, we need to learn from them because we need more light workers. We need more people to raise the vibration of everyone in this beautiful earth. Na nakalock lang in this mind control. Mind control lang talaga, guys. It's just mind control. Parang merong isang social experiment na yung pandemic, kasagsagan ng pandemic, may tao sa isang mall, sa door, parang gate ng mall. Tapos nag-post siya na parang security. And then meron siyang hawak na parang i-check mo yung meron bang mga heavy metals o ano ba yan. Yun ang ginawa niya. Kada may papasok na tao sa loob ng mall. Pero yung gamit niya is hairbrush lang. Para lang siyang yung ginagamit ng mga security. But because nga, we don't question, we are not asking why. Because we are in this programming, this blind belief. Yung mga tao, kahit pa, siguro nakita nila na hairbrush yun, or siguro hindi lang nila pinansin. Nag-submit sila. They submitted themselves to do that, Pero kitang-kita hairbrush lang yun. Kasi yun ang nakasanayan. Okay? So we need also to protect ourselves. We need more people to do this that's still on this lifetime. We need to be here on earth to do the job. Because this is a manifested plane. It's a physical plane. So the work must be also done in the physical. So, parang tayo dito na kaya ba siguro ng source na siguro na i-uplift ang earth to save us yung, di ba? You could really say. But we need to do our part. Because we are here. Tayo yung nandito. Tayo yung mas may kakayanan to raise the vibration of the world. To protect this world. Kasi tayo yung nandito. Hindi tayo pwedeng asa-asa lang tayo. And we're not doing anything. Kasi wala talagang mangyayari. Evil keep on existing because good people do nothing. All right? And I don't want to say safest because there's no, it's to be honest, it's not safe anymore to live here on earth because of these things. Because anything can might happen. Anything can happen, but we can work on ourselves. We need to work on ourselves. We need to focus on creating a high vibrational reality. By focusing on ourselves na, okay, I am determined to live in a high vibrational reality, a high vibrational timeline. I want to bring myself here, my manifested self here, to become a high vibrational being. So I can also inspire others, also help others in, in our own unique way to spread this high vibe, this high vibe energy, to inspire others to also do the same. So in order to do that, we must master this first. Yes, brain, but it's just our mind. Because when we think about mind, there's a lot of, you know, layers, parts of the mind. And it's just not just about the left brain and the right brain. Um, we have to also talk about the subconscious mind, the superconscious mind, the unconscious mind. So there's a lot of layers in there. So this is something that we need to work on. Okay? Because if we can master what's going here, then our actions, the words, our thoughts, our words, our actions would also be the same. Like as above, as below. As above, so below, as below, so above. So what happens in your mental world shall be the manifested reality. If we work in our inner worlds, what is the manifestation of our inner universe? That's also the extension of our outside reality. And becoming the cause and not the effect anymore. Because when you become the cause, you are now actually putting yourself in control of your reality, of your life. You're no longer the effect. Because ito din nangyayari sa mga truth seekers or the truth tellers, doing this kind of researching, they become the effect. They may think that, this world is, I don't want to live here anymore. Like, parang wala na silang control sa sarili nila. Parang end of the world na talaga. Kahit pa alam na nila to, there's a lot of tendencies, a lot of people who have also gone into that path na tapusin ko na lang yung buhay ko. Kasi wala na to eh. Sila na ang winner. Parang ganon. Parang wala na talaga tayong magagawa. No, you have more power in you. That's the reason why. That's the reason why you are studying on these things. If somehow you have come across on this one, guys, already, I'm just adding inputs lang. The reason why is there's so much more for you, to do. There's more, there is, there's more work to be done. Kaya ka nandito. Possibly, yan talaga. Okay? So, and as part of my contribution, in my spiritual awakening, for having um, known these things and still learning and knowing more about myself. This is now my contribution for others to the collective, because I don't want people to be stuck here na puro violence po, na normalize lang yung crime, normalize lang yung may parati tayong may nakikitang news about crimes, about violence. Kasi parang normal na lang yun. Parang daily bread na nga eh. Television, technology, such as television, can be a good tool to spread information. Pero kung ginagamit naman siya for as personal agenda, huwag na lang. Just like money. Money is a tool that we can use to acquire wealth or to acquire something that we can have for a higher good. Pero if it's used in an egoic and in something na parang hindi trying to hurt others, like something wrong. There's a root cause in there. All right. So as part of my contribution now, I've created Halina Movement. And Halina Movement is actually like a training ground for anyone who's trying to master themselves, to know themselves. Knowing more about yourself alongside knowing more behind the scenes of the world, what's really going on. Okay. And even digging, deep diving into the esoteric sense, not just the exoteric, kasi minsan yung information nga, meron naman out there, pero hindi pa parang surface level pa rin yung pagkaka-explain, or surface level pa rin um, yung perspective na dinadaanan. So that's what we are trying our best inside, na mas maliwanagan din tayo on those things. Okay? Because this is our part of our ascension to the new earth. Okay? And part of that is to do our own work, to do the great work. And this is just part of it. Meditation. Meditate. Sitting still. Trying to recognize your higher faculty, your other senses, which is natural for us. Your psychic gifts. It's actually natural. It's not external. It's not an extra sensory perception. It's not an extra. It's never an extra. It's natural for you. It's innate for you, but you need to activate them, because ang nangyari, because of this 3D paradigm, we are actually cut off from those. Okay? Cut off tayo. Ano tayo na cut off? Again, we have explained scientism. Science lang tayo. Everything that you cannot trust your inner knowing. May alam ka na eh. May nafe-feel ka na. Pero you don't trust it because, guni-guni ko lang yan. Kailangan muna meron akong ebidensya na ito na yon. Something tangible. Like see is to believe. That's also another part of the paradigm, because we don't utilize our other senses, which is actually natural for us. We just need to activate them, and meditation can really help in activating those senses. Okay? We need activation. This is also something that I have to emphasize, na we those who are in this journey for so long naman, parang medyo matagal-tagal na din kayo nandito sa journey na to, you might have gotten into that point na, all I need is within me. All I need is within me pala. All I know. So, but are you activating those? Are you activating your gifts? It needs activation. It's just any, ano eh, if you have a beautiful mansion, so hindi mo ino-open ang door ng mansion mo. Hindi mo naman siya pinupuntahan, hindi ka naman doon nakatira. Paano mo utilize yun? Or you have a seed of mango. Gusto mo ng mangga. Para hindi ka na bili ng mangga sa market, you want to grow your own. Tapos tinanim mo. Pero hindi mo naman inaalagaan. Hindi mo dinidiligan. Hindi mo inaarawan. Paano yan lalaki? How can it will grow? How will that seed grow? Diba? It's just the same. Self-reflection, awareness of yourself, awareness of your patterns, awareness of your reactions, awareness of how you respond, react on things, how you say things, how you do things. Kapag may same na situation, anong ginagawa mo? Bakit paulit-ulit na ganitong situation? Bakit palagi kang nandito sa similar situation? So we need to have that. And you could also lay all of those through journaling. Express yourself. Journal, journal, journal. Right? Spend more time under the sun. Sun is like a recharging station. That's why they have a lot of done things to cover the sun, done things to to minimize the the impact of the sun, the effects of the sun here. And they try to put an agenda na the sun rays is bad for your skin. It's bad for you. So you should not stay out too long out in the sun and you should stay indoors. Kaya nga parang may agenda na kailangan yung magpaputi ka, parang hindi ka dapat magpa-araw. So all of those things again is just part of the agenda. I know those are just details, guys, pero meron ka ng clues on why things are happening, why those things are being marketed too much in the mainstream. Okay, high vibe diet, of course, high vibe, something that you are eating more things that are alive. Okay, fruits, vegetables. Again, itong high vibe diet pa lang dito, guys. Ang daming arguments dito nangyayari sa Instagram pa lang. Okay? Just recently, kahapon siguro, parang may isa akong fina-follow na on Instagram. Tapos, ang nasa comments talaga, parang nag-aaway sila. Kailangan, parang huwag kang kumain ng meat. Kumain ka lang ng vegetables, fruits. Bawal ang meat. Masama ang meat. Tapos, meron ding trying to back up the meat eaters, parang ganun. Okay lang naman ang meat, ganyan. Kailangan it's more on how you prepare, parang the source of it. Like, Matagal naman eh. Our ancestors have been eating meat naman. Is that really bad? Parang bad people ba sila kung kumain sila ng meat? Parang ganun. So those are a lot of conversations going on. And for me, guys, okay, if you want my opinion, I'm just seeing it another separation again. Separation, separation. Anything that is parang may right brain na ano lang dominance and merong left brain dominance, it's again separation. That's all I can see. Is it vibing and this as above so below, as below so above? No. In esoteric sense, it's it doesn't sit with me. So kapag may ganon, I would say I don't know. I don't know the truth. And even you might, sino bang dapat mong paniwalaan? Why not meet halfway? You eat meat. I also have a specific series for this about your diet, food. Okay, we're going to talk about food. But just to give you parang a few glimpse lang dito. Um, increase your. You just need to increase your intake of vegetables, yung alive, yung may alive foods, then eat meat. Eat meat for the reason for vitality, to strengthen your physical body. Because even though we're trying to elevate our consciousness, we're still in a physical body form. We might be forgetting that. Because nandito rin yung pag yung spiritual ego. If you want to elevate your consciousness, kailangan ito lang kainin mo. Kasi because this is na da 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 da. But this, is it balance that we always need to be in the spiritual realms all the time? We still have a living body. We still have a physical body here. So, bakit kailangan parating ganun na lang? It's not balance again. That's the true meaning of you need to keep yourself grounded. You have to remember that you have a physical body to take care of. Because kung puro na lang, it's more on spiritual consciousness lang yung tinitake care mo, this would be affected. It's not even different to what they're trying to um, influence the emergence of AI, the virtual reality. Na parang nasa game lang tayo, nasa loob tayo ng ating what we want, a virtual reality. Parang gusto natin na virtual reality. Pero our physical body is suffering. Just looking at the gamers who are keep on playing virtual games, ang putla-putla nila. Yung body nila parang walang nourishment. Hindi kumakain ng maayos. Not enough sleep. Because nasa ano nila is palagi on the VR. Okay? And there's also a reason why you need to eat meat, to be honest. Okay? All right. Next, practice gratitude and compassion. Okay, parang hindi ako maka-move on dun sa high vibe diet, eh. So, sige lang, feel free to check out our I still give naman mga ano din eh, resources about high vibe diet inside Halina, our Halina community. So feel free to watch out for them. And also let's, if you want that conversation, then have that conversation. Because sometimes I don't know if that's something that you might want to talk about. Yeah, I also selectively talk about what is my current, self-evolution is needed to relate. But I don't know if that's something that you want to talk about. So feel free to be open about it. All right? Para mapag-usapan natin. Okay? It's free naman. It's free naman mag-talk doon inside the Halina Collective. All right? Then practice gratitude and compassion, of course. This is 5D consciousness is love. Source is love. There's more There's more higher than 5D consciousness, to be honest. But it's all about love. Love is the answer. It can be the simplest, it is the simplest answer, but it's also the hardest to pull off, especially here on Earth. Because of what's really happening. It's so hard because we are so stuck with the fear, with the hate, with the pain, hurt. So, ang hirap magmahal. Ang hirap magmahal in this realm. Because of this, again, 3D paradigm, to be honest. And puro na lang, di ba? Parang biniblame na natin, 3D paradigm na lang, 3D paradigm. But it's more on that, di ba? Hindi naman isang ano lang 3D paradigm. You cannot explain 3D paradigm in one term. Kaya I split this on three-part series. Pero marami pa nga eh. Kaya nga I have put it out in the Project 3 series to go more into the deeper details. Okay? Gratitude, compassion. Because when you love life, it's also easier for you to keep on living here. Kasi ang daming nagpapakamatay. I know it's a very sensitive topic. I understand. I even gone into that part, parang gusto ko na lang mawala. Because sa sobrang pain, sobrang hindi mo na alam kung anong magiging future mo sa life. Kasi nga, you have this kind of programming na dapat ganito yung life mo. But because of that, parang pag nag-fail lahat, parang wala ka ng kwenta. So I understand that kind of, so that's also the reason why I've gone into life coaching. So because I also want to help out people in that who are also in that kind of situation. But of course, um, therapy can really be therapy is something that you work on about past experiences. So there's also a different tools used for that. Um, but of course, you would say that therapy is so expensive. I know, I understand. That's why we are working on ourselves, right? And we're trying our best here na para ano natin ba? It was very simple to. You can do this for free. This is all free, right? Hindi mo naman kailangan ng pera para magawa ito. Di ba? To be honest. Right? So you may start on this, guys. That's why this series is also now in the public na. Okay? Putting this out in public para you can start on doing this. The essence of why we are doing this. Because kung sasabihin ko lang to in the first part, para saan? 'Di ba? After knowing after following through all of this series, knowing about the 3D paradigm, somehow you might give a chance on doing these things in a more conscious way. Na meron ng bigat, it has much more bigger purpose kung bakit mo yan ginagawa. It's for you. It's actually for you to save yourself. Okay? And of course, be with nature. Do some earth walking barefoot, and it doesn't really need to take a lot of your time in a day. You can do this, even just give yourself, kahit start with very, very, ano lang, little of your time. 15 minutes. Okay. Start with 15 minutes. Sige. Kung busy talaga, 15 minutes. Sige lang. But you need to start. Hindi pwede yung, bukas na lang. Tapos pa-stop-stop tayo. I understand that we have a lot of good things to do. I'm not here to judge, to be honest. Because I do those things. Sometimes I do this and then pagkabukas wala na. But it's also about consistency. Okay? Regularly. Okay? Sige, 2 times a week, 3 times a week. Sige. But at least start. That's what we are, ano lang talaga. um, being saying to everyone, at least start lang talaga. Start. Please start. Because you need it. You need some tools. You need to nourish your soul. Just imagine your soul like a seed. Okay, you have a soul, but it's still a seed. If you don't nourish it, if you don't put some activations on it, how will it grow? Your soul is just still a baby. Diba? Paano ka ngayon malilift into higher realms? Alright? So, if you want to learn more, again, you can do this all of these things for free. But if you want to learn more, of course, that's also the reason why that we have the Halina movement. For those who want to really dig deeper, okay? What's that about soul? Paano naging seed lang yung soul? Di ba parang pare-pareho lang? You have a soul. It's within you. But again, are you activating it? So again, um, mastering yourself, training ground. Halina movement is a training ground for you to master yourself, not to indoctrinate you in other ways. Of course, there's also be a possibility that you might be indoctrinated in what I'm saying because I'm the teacher on this movement. So somehow parang you will there might be a possibility na ako lang yung paniniwalaan niya. But always give discernment. Leave discernment. Give yourself a chance. Kasi yun naman eh. Not even just Halina movement and in any other um the religion. Any other movements governed by one people or a few people, there's a tendency talaga na parang siya lang yung paniniwalaan mo. But, but always use your discernment. Mm, Ini-emphasize ko lang talaga siya. Mas ini-emphasize ko lang talaga siya dito sa Halina movement because you will really encounter a lot of things that you might not even know of or are even aware of, and also to open up opportunities and perspectives na siguro na-encounter mo na pero hindi mo lang siya ma-accept yet in your current timeline. Because again, it's still about you. Halina movement is created for you to know yourself. Always discern what works for you. So um There are students there na there are things na hindi nag-work sa kanila. Yung class or yung something na present ko doon, hindi nag-work sa kanila. And that's fine. Maybe that's not something that really works for them. And that's good. Kasi nade-discern mo kung ano talagang para sa'yo. And there's also things na nag-work sa kanila. And that's fine also. A good way because somehow we have helped people in discerning or helping them to identify what really works for them, di ba? And that's the part of that we're doing. Self mastery is actually it's not new. It's been with us ever since. That's the goal of our spiritual development. And when we say spiritual development, hindi lang siya, it is just, again, it's not separated. Okay? Our personal development is also separate from our spiritual development. Spiritual development is everything. Spiritual development. When we say spiritual, again, we have to talk about spiritual and science is just the same. It's just one concept. So everything in your life right now, you could talk about your personal status or your everything. All of them is spiritual. Because everything naman dito on our earth is actually being breathed in the same energy. We're being filled with the same very beautiful energy. It can even be called the field, spirit. It's still the same. But it can be our new education right now because we have an existing, right? Is self-mastery is part of the curriculum, maybe. But in the new earth, in this new earth, when we say new earth talaga, it's an optimal, your desired timeline, your desired timeline reality, a manifested reality that you may want for the world. And it's up to us on what would be the vision of that. But it can start with that para mas ma-ano natin, mas ma-visualize natin yan kung magsa-start tayo sa sarili natin. Di ba? We cannot just, yung parang save others first before saving yourself. It would not really work out. You can only save yourself. You can only save yourself. But you can save others indirectly by mastering yourself and be an inspiration to also work on themselves. Okay? So again, guys, thank you so much. Thank you very much for following through in this series. And I'm honored to be a messenger of you of this all of these topics. And hopefully to see you soon in Halina Movement. Okay? I I am excited to work with you all and have an intimate conversations. Ito naman talaga, it's really more on personal connections, a soul tribe connection. So whoever you are, thank you so much. And if you are here, if you have whatever the path that you're going on, I am rooting. I'm rooting for your ascension. And feel free to share this information. Feel free to share this class, this series. Feel free to share our community so they will be able to know more about this and keep the conversation going because that's what helps the the truth to be alive than the lie. Kasi yung lie, mas ano siya eh, mas nag, maraming bumubuhay sa lie. Pero yung truth, nasa gilid lang. So we need more people to talk about the truth. Thank you again, guys, for being with me. I'm Arami Vasotras, and see you soon in Halina Movement. Okay, see you soon. Or wherever we are, we're going to to meet. I am really rooting for your ascension, guys. Thank you. Bye for now.